Welcome to BitterBuzz. Today it's gonna get mystical. So this Russian Imperial Stout from the North Coast Brewing actually has nothing to do with old Rasputin. At least it wasn't brewed during the time he was alive, nor was this actually brewed in Russia. This particular one is brewed in the United States, but even the origin of the Imperial Stout, the Russian Imperial Stout, it's not even from Russia. You might wonder why it's called the Russian Imperial Stout, and I have the answer for that. It started in Great Britain. What's his name? Peter? Peter the Great. He loved this ale that he tried in Great Britain, and he wanted it so bad in his home country that they actually delivered this ale, this stout, over to Russia. But it arrived all spoiled. So they amped up the alcohol content, the flavor, the aromas, and Peter the Great was happy. And so was the Russian Imperial Council. And therefore, the Russian Imperial Stout was named after this story. Nowadays, however, the United States is the most dominant Russian Imperial Stout or Imperial Stout brewer in the entire world. So it went from England to Russia to the United States, to my desk. Let's find out if Peter the Great indeed has, well, he's probably dead, had great taste. I'm holding it up against the light and I cannot see anything except darkness. Although at the very, very bottom, there is some light shining through it. It's like a really, really dark mahogany. Has a nice lacing, sticking together, which is nice. Nice bubble formation. I'm definitely getting a lot of dark chocolate notes, but also a little bit of dry fruit. So it's sour tasting like dark chocolate, sour fruit. So I would imagine like a chocolate bar that has dried fruit and at least 90% of cacao in there. Okay, but I'm getting more of the sweetness. What is another word for burnt vanilla? I think there's a different type of vanilla that I can't think of. It almost smells a little bit like vanilla ice cream. The collar of the head is still there, although quite thin, so I can almost see through. But let's see how it tastes. Okay, it keeps on changing its flavor. So in the beginning it was definitely more sweet. You had molasses flavor, the sort of vanilla that I was talking about, but then I let it linger a bit and then I got a little bit of espresso and dark chocolate again. If someone getting more of the fruitiness. It's not as full-bodied as I expected. It doesn't have the richest mouthfeel. To me, bitter is more of the hoppy flavor. Stouts, I guess they're just a little bit more creamy and richer. And well, the alcohol content is higher. How much does this have? 9%. That's promising. Oh wow. I just got roasted hazelnut. That's nice. And I'm a dark chocolate fan, so this really is nice. You know, when you do eat dark chocolate and it's a bit dry and it almost crumbles on the tongue, but it remains there and it's slightly bitter and sour. It almost feels like I just ate cocoa powder, so it's just like, nah. I don't know how to describe it. You know what I mean? It's not as bad. It is a perfect beer for winter time. It's a perfect beer if you really don't like sweet beers that much. And I can see why it is a classic. I can see why it's a staple of Imperial Stouts, Russian. Why it's a staple for Russian Imperial Stouts. But I would say if you're a fan of dark chocolate, of cacao, of dried fruit, of vanilla ice cream. Oh, this probably tastes really great with vanilla ice cream because then it just enhances the sweetness level. See why Peter the Great liked this. And sure, it's not the same beer per se, but the Russian winters get cold and this beer probably kept you warm. And who knows, I don't know if the amounts of chocolate and the chocolate production was scarce over there. And imagine a life without chocolate, so maybe this was just the substitute. I did some research about Rasputin. Still, I have not found a connection with the beer because I also think he didn't drink anymore, especially once he got enlightened and he went all on those pilgrimages. And after he came back from St. Petersburg, I believe, he was a changed man and he became this very mystical figure. Is it for me? Perhaps sometimes, but it is a Tuesday, so maybe not at the moment. With that said, thanks for watching, stay great, and do svidaniya.